At the end of yesterday's episode, we were talking about doing a little bit of painting here, like the guns that were going to be a little darker gray, and some of these other smaller parts that are going to be a darker gray. But I started thinking, well, there's quite a bit of photo etch I got to nip yet. For instance, this round ring that has to go around the bottom here. And there's a little ladder. Probably, maybe one goes on the other side, I'm not sure. And then here, you'll notice that there's some little pieces, ends 9 and 6. Well, that would be these pieces right here. And then I was noticing that these pieces right here, they're supposed to go on the side, like N3 and N2. They get mounted right here. But then I thought, well, wait a minute, where do these go? So we got to be really careful here, because this is called main gun number 1, and I'll bet you if I flip the page over, maybe the other guns. Well, obviously, the other guns are going to be different. So, got to keep my wits about me here. We may not be doing any painting today. Okay, this long piece here is actually this one right here. Okay. Let's get our parts nipped off here and get them in numbered trays, because for some reason N2 and 3, even though they look like they are mirror image of each other, they may not be. There might be a slight difference. So yeah. All right, let's get the rest of the parts nipped off here, and we'll see what happens. Here we go with more unimportant trivia, but it's kind of interesting. You'll notice that this is number 12. It says 12. So that means that this must be 9. And this one would be 6. But there is no, if you were to look at the sprue upside down, it would be very easy to accidentally, get these two mixed up. Because obviously 6 upside down is 9. And here is number 6, and here's number 9. But I was looking at the other side, and they are mirror image to each other. I can't see any difference between these two. While I'm saying they're mirror image to each other, they're more like identical. So it wouldn't really matter. Could that be why Trumpeter chose to put, this one is number 6 and the other is number 9, just in case we got them mixed up? And it wouldn't make any difference. But on the other hand, I've noticed on other sprues where we've had a whole, several of the same number, they were all numbered the same on the same sprue, like there'd be a whole bunch of number 2s or, that kind of thing. So, I don't know. It doesn't really matter. I just find that kind of interesting. I'm going to play it safe, just in case. Now 12 and 13, they look identical at first, but they are mirror image to each other, so that's different. And that is everything nipped off of the N sprue, except for these things that we don't need, which are the breeches that would go on the metal barrels if we had metal barrels. So, we got 4 more pictures to hang on the wall. Now I have just finished this little piece right here. It's the same as these ones over here. And when you nip, or at least when I nip pieces off, like you'll notice right here, notice where the connection is, where the sprue actually connects onto the part. It's at a real, you might say, precarious place. So a person has to be careful not to, first of all, accidentally break that off, because you will undoubtedly, in fact, you can probably see it here. See where there's a little discoloration where it once was? But you don't want a little notch taken out of there, because this is going to go on here. See if I can get it now. Okay. It's going to go. Okay, there we go. It's supposed to go like that. So if there's a little notch there, naturally it's going to show. And of course, some people would say, well, that's no problem. You just fill that in with sprue goo and sand it down. Well, yeah, but I don't have to do that if I don't have to. So this is how I take a piece like this off. Let me get the rest of this stuff out of the way here. Maybe I should be using a different lens for this, but this will give you an idea. What I will do is I will lay the cutter flat like this, and I won't squeeze very hard, just very, very little, just tiny little bit. I'll sort of rotate it around, keeping the cutter on the edge there. Now what I meant to say there was, at all times, I keep the flat part, or maybe you might call it the face of the cutter, against the flat part of the part. I hope that makes sense. And it's getting smaller and smaller. And eventually, we're going to be taking that off. Kind of the way a pipe cutter works. No, because I'm doing this on camera, it's probably not going to work. Now, if I'm very careful here and sand that down, we should be okay. Now, I think that my opinion is that Trumpeter should have had that sprue connected in a different place. Now, this one I'll be doing the same way. Put it on here. And round we go. Keep it flat now. Okay, and there again, hopefully that when I sand this down or file this down, now I do realize it's going to get all scuffed up here, but that's what the sanding sticks are for. Just take it down just a little bit here. And I'll take it down this way, and keeping everything flat. I'm probably taking this way out of focus on you. And I'm not pressing hard, just going very gentle. Okay, now I put this on here, and we'll I think I need a new fine sanding stick. I should make some up out of the 1,000 grit sandpaper that I've got. Okay, we'll worry about this side later. But let's just see what have we got here now. Okay, now you can see the discoloration there, right here. But I think once that's painted over, that joint is going to look pretty good. Now, that joint will not be seen because it's on the underside. The one that will be seen will be this one right here. So, yeah, I'm going to do it again on this side, and maybe we'll take a look at it. It should come out looking just like this one. Okay, I've filed and sanded it, but the best I can. And it's going to go like that. Now you may be able to see little tiny micro scratches on the top of this piece here from the sanding stick. And it'll be kind of interesting to see if I think of it after I've painted this piece. we'll put the macro lens on and just look at the top there and see, can we actually see those, or has the paint, the flat paint, sort of hidden them. Anyway, another problem I've got, I had been thinking of painting some of these smaller parts the darker gray, but I'm thinking that possibly this part here, there's going to be one on this side, and there's going to be one sticking out this side. It could be that it might look better if it was the same color as the top of the turret, or all of the turret. So, yeah, in the comments below, what do you think? Should I paint it a different color, the darker gray? These ones right here that I'm holding in my fingers. I am thinking of doing the ladder that's going to go up the side, the darker gray. Yeah, okay, now another problem. Now, I guess I really should not have used the word problem, because it's not really a problem. But you remember yesterday I was talking about the fact that if I was to glue everything in place as you see it here, I wouldn't be able to remove these guns to paint them, and it is my intention to paint the barrels the darker gray as they are on these the 6-inch guns that we made. And right now everything is just pressure fit in place there. But I had mentioned that if this had been sort of U-shaped so that you could drop the barrel down into it, it would have been better. And afterwards I did think, but I didn't say it, why not just cut the tops off? And then later, last night, I was viewing my comments, and one of the viewers said the exact same thing. And I think I commented back to him, great minds think alike. Yeah, so I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to take the tops off here. And I'm noticing that there is very little elevation available here. Like, I think on the real ship, the barrels could elevate, unless I've got these backwards. Hey, you know what? I've got these brackets backwards. I just noticed that. No wonder it wasn't working right. Okay, I'm just going to swing them around here and we'll try it again. Okay, now everything can be made to elevate a little better. And see if I can get that in there. Anyway, it doesn't matter. You get the idea. It's sure a good thing I didn't glue them the other way around. So I think what I'm going to do anyway is just cut the top half of this off, and then I'll just CA them in place at the angle that I like. Just slightly elevated, I think will probably look good. Now I'm thinking that if I nip this off just slightly above the halfway mark, then possibly when I shove the barrel down, it'll kind of snap into place. So here we go. Okay, let's try that now. Sometimes trying to do this stuff on camera doesn't work out too good. Well, it doesn't really snap into place. I remember when I was a kid, there was a line of models, and I don't know if they still make them or not, but they used to snap together. There was no glue involved. I think I got one of those for Christmas or birthday or something like that. Yeah, I can remember that. Okay, I've used extra thin to glue these in place, and let's give it a try. And this is actually going to be the first time. Okay, I've gone ahead and I've glued up the other ones exactly the same way. Now you may remember that when I was talking about the N2 and the N3 and I couldn't really see any difference. Well, when I was cleaning them up just now getting the flashing and sprue and everything off, I could see the difference. Like here's the N2, here's the N3, and there is a slight subtle difference on the underside that would make a difference to the way they would fit on the side of the turret here. I'm going to slip the macro lens on again and I'm going to show you. This is interesting to me. Now it was kind of hard to get the light adjusted just right here. But these are actually mirror image to each other. This edge right here, it pretty much goes straight down, whereas this one, it's beveled at about a 45-degree angle like that. And on this one, it's beveled this way. And this side here pretty well goes straight down. And I'll show you why. Now in the Trumpeter factory, when they made this part, and when they pulled the two halves of the mold apart, see if I can get this turned over here. Okay, you'll notice that the top edge is kind of beveled, because that's the way it pulled apart. It probably did not pull straight up. It pulled at a bit of an angle. So consequently, they couldn't produce a sharp edge. I can understand what I'm talking about, but probably nobody else can. Anyway, so in other words, the other part would not fit on this properly. Well, you could probably force fit it, I guess, and use a whole lot of extra thin and sort of meld everything together, but, you know, they've gone to the trouble to make sure that this part fit exactly on here. So then, keeping that in mind, while I'm doing the N6 and the N9 here, I'm looking and I cannot see any difference. And I removed sprue and flashing off quite a few, and then all of a sudden I spotted it. Now these are, by the way, they're the little doors that go on the back, one on one side and one goes on the other. Anyway, I'm going to put the macro lens on, and we'll have a little bit of fun here. We'll see who can spot it. So in the comments below, if you see the difference, and you're pretty sure you know what it is, I'll just put it in the comment. And don't go by what the person ahead of you said, because if you see something different, it could be, you know, maybe you're right. Now, I'm not talking about the fact that on some I did a better job of removing sprue and flashing than on others. I'm talking about a definite design difference in these two doors between the number 6 and the number 9. So anyway, in the meantime, thanks for watching, and all being well, we'll see you tomorrow.